Timestamp September 24th, 2025, almost 9 a.m. Got up a little while ago, and we're getting a fair amount done around here. My sleep schedule's totally screwed up, but that's okay. Uh, Health check. I feel pretty good. Still got chest tightness, but I definitely think that that's more anxiety based than emphysema. I really hope so. Oh look, Jinx. That's right, I'm running water, Jinx. And it's not for you. Just washing out my mug. Just brewed some coffee. Got an acorn crawling around over here. Still have some stuff to walk around in the kitchen, but a lot of that's extremely temporary. Just did a second coat on the side of the bar stool. Did a little bit of touch up on the top. Let's see if I can, there we go. Some patches that were a little bit lighter than I was hoping for. Nothing like drastic or anything, just I already had it on the applicator, so I'm like, let me just... Scientific terminology there. I'm a very technically minded person. I went to MID. The D stands for oh. So I'm sorry, Scrappy, was I in your way? Just like plowed past me. Because we don't really have live TV here per se. I just watched the Jimmy Kimmel monologue via YouTube. Of course, now I start coughing. And I am going to weigh in on that just a little bit. I think it's right and proper to do so. I'm kind of progressive in my thinking. Kind of, really progressive. That being said, I'm actually not a Kimmel fan. The stuff he does with Matt Damon is hilarious, not gonna lie. But I'm much more you will catch me watching Stephen Colbert. You will catch me watching Seth Meyers. Closer Look. John Oliver. It's pretty much my go-to. For news, like I usually am watching MSNBC. I think Ari Melber is amazing. I do like Rachel Maddow, Chris Hayes. There's a select few of people that I actually give a shit as far as what they say. Kimmel's monologue. One of the reasons I'm not a big. This will give you some insight on who I am. One of the reasons I'm not a big Kimmel fan is I kind of hold a grudge here, ish. I know he's been doing this particular show for 20 years. Well aware of that. I was introduced to Jimmy Kimmel via The Man Show, and I had some friends that were big fans, and it was, I watched, I think, a couple of episodes, and I just really had a hard time with the overt sexualization. I mean, I'll do double entendres and jokes and stuff like that, but the whole premise of the show, same reason I could never really get into Married with Children. And I think all the performers from that are brilliant and amazing, but the show itself, and if you can relate with this, great. If you can't, we can still be friends. I could never really watch All in the Family. That kind of attitude, except to study, I don't find as amusing. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird that way. You wouldn't think that I'm like, a prig or a prude, but that kind of humor just kind of annoys me. It feels wrong to me. So I've never really I have a hard time getting past that, watching the Jimmy Kimmel Hour show, whatever. I'd much rather watch Stephen Colbert, who I saw on The Daily Show. Jon Stewart's another one that I will tune in for every time. Because I think suspected spam? What? In this house? Never. That's my parents' house number. Remember I said I put Scooby-Doo chase music on it. 20 calls a day. 20 calls a day. We're coming up on 9 o'clock, so the boiler rooms and the telemarketers and the scam artists are now hitting the phone banks. But yeah, John Oliver, he's right 98.5% of the time. He just is. That being said, free speech. Really, 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 really important. Like, if we don't have free speech, we are now enslaved to the information the government wants to throw our way. One of the reasons that Putin and some of the other guys in power in all the countries that we look at and go, oh, we don't want to be like that. One of the reasons they have such a good, tight grip on the people is because the people only get the information that they approved. Whether it's facts or humor. If we don't have, if you can imagine a society where everything you hear on the radio, TV, music, any and all of that is being funneled through the ideals of what you're allowed to hear, we can lose touch with what is really going on very quickly. Just consider that. If the only thing you're allowed to hear, see, is what they want you to, I know it's very Orwellian. If it's only what they filter to you, you will never, ever know what's actually going on. Look at a typical broadcast look at 1 hour programming on MSNBC and look at 1 hour programming on Fox. They will be worlds apart in their ideology and the stories that they run, the spin, the slant, and that's the point of it. I don't think that people should be allowed, especially in media, like broadcasts that consider themselves or call themselves news, I don't think they should be allowed to lie, but they're always going to spin a little bit. But when the government starts telling those companies that they can't say certain things or that certain people need to be removed, if they're offensive to, I don't know, like one incredibly thin-skinned guy in charge, just as a hypothetical example, not that that would ever happen. when one person or one group of people has that kind of authority, we're all in trouble. We're all in trouble. We just are. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not a Kimmel fan. I'm not a Kimmel fan. I can never get past The Man Show. I see him and I think of that and I'm like, God, that show was really, really degrading in a lot of ways. It just really hit me the wrong way. I do recognize that he may have grown up a bit, and I respect that, but I still can't. As a person, I have a hard time like getting past it. Colbert, I can watch all day long, but again, I saw him on the Daily Show. He's an improv guy, so I have mad respect for him on that. Because done it. He's a Second City guy. Then he had the Colbert Report, which was some of the most amazing satirical television that we've had this century. Mind-blowing that he was able to do that show for that long, basically. And if you haven't seen it, you can probably find some stuff on YouTube. If you've seen Colbert recently, you know that he's pretty liberal. In the Colbert Report, which is spelled Colbert Report, he is playing a caricature of himself where he is very Tucker Carlson, Alex Jones, very right-wing. Rush Limbaugh even probably influenced his performance there. He's that guy interviewing people. And the whole thing is a spoof. The whole thing is a satire. He's making really good points from an idiotic characterizations point. You know what I mean? He's like selling left-wing ideas through the absurdity of the right-wing lens, I guess would be the way to put it. It's a very interesting show. Knowing him, knowing who he is. And he did it for years. And I'm just still blown away that he was able to keep that character. You know, I've played some pretty nasty characters on stage. I can't imagine keeping that up for years every night. That would, whew, mind-blowing. And consequential, made incredibly good points. But yeah, watching him grow up, if you will, and then get the gig that he's got now, well, until May, which, here's another thing I want to mention. Everybody's saying that Jimmy Kimmel is, you know, that if you give a mouse a cookie. Everybody's saying that Jimmy Kimmel is the cookie. And I still maintain that Colbert is the cookie. Kimmel was just the first glass of milk. The cookie's already been served. The cookie gets eaten in May. It'd be nice if we could walk that back. Because that was the first salvo. But Kimmel's monologue I thought was incredibly eloquent. I thought it was really well delivered. I thought that he got... I mean, I study people. I do. As an actor, as a director, as a writer, I study people. And there were quite a few moments in his monologue where, in my opinion, he got genuinely choked up. If he was acting, he's a much better performer than I ever thought he was. I believe it was genuine. And the point he made was that he wasn't celebrating Charlie Kirk's murder. That was not okay. Ever okay. Political violence, violence of that nature, for any reason, is not okay. Me personally, I did not like Charlie Kirk at all. I thought that his ideology was harmful um, and hateful. And the thing that really upset me the most about Charlie Kirk was that he had been very smart. He was very, very smart. He was very cunning and shrewd in that he was going to universities around the country debating and, in my opinion, indoctrinating people into a worldview that was not accurate. You know, to say that black women don't have the mental capability to handle complex tasks or important things. They can't handle things of that nature. Um, that when he sees a black pilot flying a commercial aircraft, he gets nervous because that was obviously a DEI hire, and they're probably not as qualified as the white pilot that got the job instead of them. I don't know if that came out right or not, but you kind of get the gist. Now, again, my circle of friends is incredibly diverse. This always sounds like a I'm not racist thing. I have a lot of black friends. I have a lot of Spanish friends. They're qualified to do whatever the hell they decide they're qualified to do. Just like white folk. Just like white folk. The idea that the racial, the whites are superior concept and white replacement theory and all that kind of stuff. Nope. But the reason I did not like Charlie Kirk for this, and also the reason that I don't want to say admired, but because I don't want to use that word in connection with him. He was smart. He was smart. He was running around at different colleges and, you know, preaching. He was indoctrinating. And I don't see anybody on the left doing anything near that, which is stupid. Because, you know, the wrong side of history took a microphone and no one challenged it. I don't celebrate his murder, because that was murder. It was an assassination. That was murder. That should never have happened. And I understand that the kid that did it was not well. I've heard all kinds of crazy stuff coming out. I don't even know what to think. The one thing that I'm hearing the most is that he was tired of Charlie Kirk preaching hate. I get that, because I've been tired of Charlie Kirk doing that for years. But that was not the answer. That was not how you do that. And Kimmel never, because I've seen the monologue that got him kicked off the air, and I saw the monologue that he just did. He never once was like, "Yay!" That never happened. What he did say was that the right wing was looking for anyone they could blame on the assassination that they could, because they didn't want to admit that maybe it was one of them that did it. And apparently that, I don't know if that made them, like the orange guy and his friends, mad, or if it was just enough of an excuse to try and push the button on that. I'm not sure, because sometimes they don't even really need an excuse. They'll make up an excuse. Because 2 months ago, he truthed out something right after Colbert had been basically put on notice that Kimmel was next. So, because the orange guy is absolutely not a prophet, he's not an oracle, but he is really good at giving away his own game plan, he announced that they were going to be targeting Kimmel in that moment. So Was this an excuse? Probably, yeah. Yeah, sure. Wait for him to say something that might be viewed as mildly inappropriate when looked at sideways through, a lens with Vaseline on it, and jump on that chance and lean on Disney or ABC. Now, that being said, I got high hopes for ABC Disney. I live in Florida. We're doing Harry and David breakfast blend, by the way, with my Burger Time mug in celebration of what is coming. I'm not getting a Burger Time machine, although I'd like one. But, one of my favorites from the old arcades. And I don't know when that's arriving. I haven't gotten notification yet from the shipping company. I'm hoping it doesn't just appear. I know I'll have to sign off on it. They're not just going to leave it on the porch, but still, a little advance warning would be swell. So good. I live in Florida, and I know I've got people watching this from all over the world. The governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, he's kind of a Trump wannabe. And he has been pressuring Disney because we've got Disney World. We've got the Magic Kingdom over in Orlando. He's been kind of leaning on them since he got in office. And Mickey has fought back. I know that they have the power because in order to take on an administration, a government with all the wheels. Well, this one's scam likely. It's not suspected spam, it's scam likely. But in order to take on an organization like, a government, you need a legal team and you need power, influence, money to be able to actually continue the fight, because it's not just going to be a, hey, show up in court on Monday and that's going to be it. It's going to be a long, arduous fight. Mickey's the one that could do it. Mickey's the one that can do it. We've got a lot of newspapers, New York Times and other places that are dealing with lawsuits, mostly frivolous, but we've seen a lot of companies cave. We've seen a lot of companies that are like, you want $10 million or you're going to take us to court? Okay, I'll cut the check. Instead of actually standing up and fighting. Because usually, everything that I've seen, not a lawyer, but I've seen a lot of legal battles go the distance, and I know what makes sense. There's a reason the orange guy loses lawsuits all the time. There's a reason. His cases are usually not thought out, and they're not based on reality. But he's the schoolyard bully with a checkbook, so bullies succeed because people give them their milk money. When the kids on the playground finally stand up to the bully and go, you know what, no, you can't have my lunch money, you can't have my milk money, you're going to stop saying those things about my mom. When all the kids stand up and do that, can make a difference. But until then, the bully's going to keep getting your milk money. He's going to keep doing it because you haven't told him no. Now, I've got some experience with bullies in my day. That I do. Mickey's got the clout to actually say no. No, you're not going to tell us who we're going to have on our network, on our TV stations. You're not going to tell us that. Number one, you're not allowed to. Number two, it's not right. And number two, don't you have other things to worry about? Don't you have other things to worry about? As opposed to telling us what we can put on TV and trying to rename bodies of water. Aren't there more important things that you could be dealing with correctly with these? Well, but we'll see how that plays out. That was my lecture. But yeah, I'm not a big Kimmel fan. I thought his monologue was perfect. You can check it out on YouTube. He had good, right things to say. Free speech. Damn, that's important. Oh my God. Otherwise, the women are all going to be wearing red. I've seen something about this. Man, when some of that fiction starts becoming prophecy, shit. You know? So I've got some good epoxy on order. Hopefully it'll get here because I want to finalize that bar stool maybe by tonight because that's going to take a few hours to dry. Trying to thin the herd of the stuff behind me. The kitchen's pretty well squared. I've still got, right now, just you probably saw the white buckets or whatever that the bar stool is on. Those are all buckets of MRE type stuff that my dad had stored in the workshop. There's like 2 of those are MRE things, and the other one, I guess, is he's got tape labels on it. Non-fat dry milk. Okay, so it's dry milk. Which, bright side is that stuff lasts. It may not be great to drink, but it's good to cook and bake with. That stuff looks like, if I'm reading that right, he got it in 2014. But it typically, I want to say I've seen some prepper videos, and I think it lasts like 20 years plus. If it's in the right conditions, it can last a long time. So, but based on the fact that it's 10 years old plus, we may actually start pulling that out and like baking with it and stuff. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We got so many things. Oh. I keep getting told this is a priority, that this is a priority, that is a priority. And it's like, the running joke around here is that we've got 51st things. We've got so many things that are desperately in need. We've got to take care of this. You know, the shower in the guest bathroom doesn't work for some reason. We need to get a plumber out here right away. No, because we have the other bathroom and we can muddle through for the moment because there's 30 other things that I've got to take care of. There's so much pain and frustration here. It's just unbelievable. I can't believe it's spun this much out of control. I didn't do it. I just got here. I'm the guy with the mop. Oh, man. One brick. Got to reel it in and go. Okay. One brick. Yeah, the Aliens. There was a Colonial Marine package, action figures that I was looking at. It had a Hudson, a Hicks, a Vasquez, a Burke Carter J, and Windrix. I got it. It went up to about 170, which hurt, but I mean, I can do it, but it was like, God, I really didn't want it to go that high. I was hoping it might go to 150, but it went all the way up to like 170. And I fought for it. I got it. I mean, I didn't get it yet. It's in the mail. I'll show you when it gets here. But out of morbid curiosity, you know when you do something and then after the fact you're like, can I research this to make sure I didn't just make a stupid mistake? I did my research, and like the Vasquez figures by themselves in other listings on eBay were going for $100 plus. So I'm like, okay, so 170. I got the Vasquez plus all the other. Okay, I feel a little better about this. The Burke is going for like in between 30 and 50. You know, like, okay, so the auction I spent, that would have been like 2 or 3 of the figures, not all 5. Had I done them independently, the lot was a good thing to fight for. Okay, I feel better about my life choices there. But I really didn't want it to go that high, but it went that high. But I'm glad I stuck it out because, you know, the same figures if I'd got them independently would have been 300, probably. Maybe 4, because the Hudson and the Hicks are both like pushing $100 too, depending on the condition. So yeah, it would have been over 400. Yeah, yeah. So I don't feel so bad about that part now, but there was that. I made that final bid and got it, and I was just like, ooh. Did I just screw up? Should I not have gone that high? Should I have let it go? But yeah, looking it up, I'm like, yeah, I'm good with it. So I'm gonna get to work. I'm gonna make some yogurt, I think, first. Yeah, hungry. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do some yogurt. I've got some of the bulk supplements. Got these in a while back. I get the barley, the ground barley. It's a green powder. Because I am pre-diabetic, I usually throw some of that in there because it's supposed to be really good for regulating blood sugar and whatnot. But I usually throw some of that in with the blueberries, mix that up, then the Greek yogurt on top, and then some Ceylon cinnamon on top. One of these days, somebody asked me about how I do the yogurt. One of these days, I need to like do a play-by-play and actually walk through what I do, just for the 3 people on planet Earth that are like, "What do you do?" But yeah, we'll make some yogurt. I think Pix and Alex are coming over today. I think we got our lawnmower in. So we went ahead and ordered one of the battery lawnmowers. We got that in, which is good because we need to do something about the jungle that is the front yard or front garden. If you're watching from areas where you don't call it a yard, in the back yard garden is getting jungle-like as well. So we got to take steps because I'm sure the neighbors are looking at it like, I've got 20 lawnmowers here, but I don't. Some of them are gas and I can't test them, and some of them I don't know what works and what doesn't anymore. There's so much broken equipment here that my dad was going to restore or rebuild. Exactly. I don't know what works and what doesn't, so it's like, just let me get something that I know works, so I can actually get things done. Anywho, so there's some lawn mowing. I'm probably going to put one of the kids on it, to be honest with you. If nothing else, like Alex, he's always like, I don't know what I can do to help. I do. Here, son. So, yogurt, then get into it. 1 brick. I might get 2 or 3 bricks today. Make it happen. I know. Make it a great day. Oh, and I'm still not AI. That's right. Make it a great day.